International leaders around Europe have been congratulating officials in Cyprus for guiding the Mediterranean nation to some measure of recovery following years of post-financial crisis malaise. Figures from the European Commission show Cyprus's economic performance has been steadily improving since 2014. The group estimates the Cypriotic Spring 2017 Gross Domestic Product (GDP) growth rate will be as high as 2%. That rate was at minus 2.4% for the same season in 2014.
Our geographic position is the vision of the Cypriot foreign policy. We want, with our regional policy, to make a specific identity of the foreign policy of Cyprus as a value added to the common foreign and security policy of the European Union. We have established systems of cooperation with these countries. We want our regional policy, foreign policy, to be the value added for the common foreign policy of the European Union, and with this we want to be among the member states, the member state who understands better than many others the particularities of this region, a very turbulent region, but where it is necessary to form alliances with all the moderate, stable countries of the region.
Is what I would call a local hub of know-how and expertise. So within such a small economy, one can find a vast range of know-how and expertise in business and financial services, in the shipping sector, in research and innovation. So I think this is what's the strongest possibly advantage, having so much in such a small, open and adaptive economy.
Focus, concentration of the government on the things that needed to be done and the things that needed to fix, which was the attention on the traditional industries that traditionally we have had competitive advantage on. We have been able to deliver the results that we delivered in 2015, growth, significant growth of 1.6%, as well as what we anticipate will be another year of growth in 2016, even higher than 1.6 we anticipate. It was an element of the tourism industry which was missing from our offerings, our experiences that we offer to our guests, which is yachting tourism. The ability, in other words, to come with a yacht and be able to moor from marina to marina all around the country and being able to experience the best of it. Now, we have a very great project delivered already and operating in Limassol. We have one in Yenaba about to start. Right now it's construction phase, as well as Paphos and the Paralimni Marina. So that would, together with Larnaca, that would conclude the picture in our positioning in the yachting tourism, as it would in golfing, as it would for the integrated casino resort as well.
The year 2016, it might be a record year for us because the first months from January to July, we had an increase in arrivals of approximately 20% and an increase in income the first 6 months of the year of 13.7%, which is very important for us and for the economy. It means that the year is going to run, it will be a record year, as I said before. 2015, of course, it was a record year as well, but 16 is going to be greater. I mean, we're going to have greater results in this respect. And depending on our forecast, we're going to have, by the end of the year, an increase in arrivals of 17% overall this year. We are working very hard at the Cyprus Tourism Organization, and in cooperation with all, with the Hoteliers Association, the Travel Agents Association, with all stakeholders, and the Ministry of Tourism, of course. And we are very proud of these results because we strain every nerve to achieve results. As far as 2017, we have all the good prospects to proceed the same way to achieve the good results this year again. With good work, hard work, with cooperation of our stakeholders and the help of the Ministry of Tourism, with the right marketing efforts and the promotion of all the ingredients we have as a tourist product, we are optimistic that we are going to achieve the greatest results. Our challenge as the Cyprus Tourism Organization is the seasonality, to alleviate the problems of seasonality and to achieve and to make Cyprus a round-the-year destination. This is a challenge, and we are working on it.
The dynamic force behind the evolution of Cyprus tourism, being the oldest professional association of the tourist sector on the island, representing the vast majority of the hotel properties that are operating on the island, and therefore have been always the most positive contributor towards the formulation of the pertinent policies that will facilitate the further development of tourism in Cyprus. It's the result of the consistent and collective effort that is done in the last 3 years, especially after the Eurozone crisis of March of 2013, that streamline all the efforts of the stakeholders, public and private sector key players, in regenerating the great momentum that tourists can give for the recovery of the Cyprus economy. And this brought fruition with last year recording a significant increase of 9% in our tourist arrivals, and we anticipate this to continue even better for 2016 and beyond. The unfortunate developments that have been taking place in certain parts of Northern Africa and Turkey and Egypt, which had a negative impact on their respective tourist industries and redirected in a way a significant proportion of the tourist flow that will otherwise flow and visit those countries to the rest of the Mediterranean tourist destinations.
Cyprus is a tourist destination. Approximately 12% of GDP is contributed by tourism to the country. I think that what the crisis has shown is that tourism really is the backbone of the economy, and this is what supported the country during these difficult years. So when the financial sector was in difficulty in these years, tourism kept going, and this is what supported the economy and enabled it to continue to offer employment to people, to have to produce income for the country and for the people generally.
CIPA was created in 2008, as you said, with the main aim of promoting foreign direct investments, attracting foreign direct investment to Cyprus. Since then, that goal has been refined and it has been developed so that we now have 3 pillars in our strategy. The first pillar is promotion, so identifying which are the key sectors of the economy that we want to promote. Those key sectors are some traditional ones and some new ones, and we give equal attention to all in order to form a communication strategy and a promotional strategy that serves our purposes in alignment with government goals. Second and very important pillar is investor care. We have a lot of investors coming to us every day with their queries, with potential issues that they're facing, and our job is to help them in every way possible to make their experience as smooth as possible, and we do that with both potential investors and existing investors throughout the life of the investment. And third and very important pillar is facilitating reform. So identifying the areas in which we could be more competitive, identifying the legislative changes that need to happen for us to be more competitive, or the business environment changes that need to happen, and actually taking all the necessary steps in order to make that happen. The knock-on effect is what we're hoping to achieve. So attracting a few main investors for our technology park is the first aim. And that is why we have a tender process open, which is going to end on the 29th of July. So hopefully after that we will have some good results as to the initial investors, who are probably going to be, established companies that already have a presence in these sectors and that already have the know-how and the technology to develop this park in the way that they want. And then once this happens, new companies, startups, other companies will be attracted to the island, and they will of course have the right environment, that the know-how and technological input of the first companies will bring in order to create a healthy competitive environment, and an environment that will attract the consumer, that will attract the investor, and that will benefit, of course, our economy, hopefully.
In order to survive, you really need to focus on quality, you need to focus on human capital, you need to concentrate and apply a lot of effort on technology. For example, cybersecurity is a completely new area that demands a lot of investment from professional services organizations. But apart from all these, you need to have passion. We could become an energy hub for the future. Whether that can happen before or after a solution of the problem, that I cannot say that with clarity, but as a law firm we're looking into it, and what we can tell you is that there is a lot of interest from international players of great reputation to come here and establish a base and be involved into this energy industry that is being created, and as I said before, it will come into fruition in a few years. It is a call for investors, it is a call for academic institutions, it is a call for the government, and it is a call for people to take advantage of the regime that exists here to actually invest and do more in R&D. Money laundering, and we would like to offer incentives and advantages to those companies that meet all these standards. So those companies that have solid business and they want to come here and create substance and take advantages of those benefits are welcome. And we truly think that the geographical position of the island is possibly the biggest advantage.
What we strive as a company is to use all the potential methods available for us here in order to minimize the energy wastage that takes place undoubtedly everywhere in the world. The real estate sector and the economy are interlinked. If the economy is doing well, the real estate sector is doing well. If the tourism is doing well, then the real estate sector is doing well because people want to buy a home. People want to immigrate to Cyprus because of our lifestyle. People want to invest. Companies want to build their financial headquarters here, or companies want to deal with the Cypriot lawyers and accountants. So this creates growth. You buy a bit of Cyprus. You buy the relaxed lifestyle. You buy the good food. You buy the good weather. You buy the security, the well-being. It's important to know that you are safe. It's important to know that in this country, it's okay to leave your car unlocked every once in a while. It's okay. Nobody will touch it. Yes, we're proud for this small yet resilient community that we have.
We have to take into account the context in which the government inherited the situation it found itself in. I have nothing but praise for the government and the finance minister and the way they have put in place a reform agenda that was difficult. If you compare what Cyprus has done to its near neighbour with a similar language, you will see that there has been a marked difference in the approach and the deliberate efforts made by government to repair this economy through proper reform. So foreclosure law reform, tax incentives to invest, a continued sort of a open for business culture, government willing to meet and aggressively pursue opportunity. There are still lots of things we'd like to see more of. We'd like to see more deregulation. We'd like to see it easier to do business in Cyprus. We'd like to see the government sort of, do the privatizations we would like them to see. There's a lot of things I'd like to see happen, but they did a lot of things that were extremely positive to the confidence of the investor and helpful to the bank and indeed society in creating rapid conditions for recovery. The pillars of the economy have to operate consistently together. And if you have policy that operates in good step with regulation that is supported by a good private sector, then you will have more positive momentum. And the combination of the government knowing what it was doing, the regulator standing and delivering on that agenda, and the private sector focusing on repairing itself in an aligned way with government, I think meant that Cyprus's recession was shorter. And we bank 80% of Cypriots have an active bank account with us. Cyprus is in this very unusual circumstance of being, close enough to very, very many places that it is not yet selling itself sufficiently as a business destination and a business headquartering destination. But much of the infrastructure required to make that happen is in place, except connectivity, which I think we need to do more of. We think there's a tremendous opportunity in the UK for us to grow the bank to multiples of what it is today. But it's a very tiny bank today. I mean, it is, when I say multiples of what it is today, that's still got more room to grow, right? So we have 250 very dedicated people in the UK servicing mostly a Cypriot North London business community and some others around the country. And we think there's an opportunity for us to serve them better, but also to widen the universe to entrepreneurs in Britain who need just a well-serviced bank for entrepreneurs. And we are working on building that proposition, and we are already seeing the fruits of a new executive team and a good focus and strategy around that. So I think there'll be more to come in how well we do in the UK over the coming years.
We do believe that we played a leading role in the banking sector, and also we assisted greatly in the economy. The cooperative bank received, at the time of the financial crisis, that is the banking crisis, received state aid. The primary target of state aid is that an institution is very systemic for the banking system, for the economy. For us, as a COP, we have seen significant progress. We have stabilized and we have started reducing our NPLs. We have gone back to early 2014 in terms of the size. So for us, that is, let's say, quite significant. We have a clear business plan in handling the NPLs. And we have managed to set up internally, I would say, a factory approach in terms of restructuring these non-performing loans. If somebody is looking to invest into the banking sector, at this stage, it appears that there is significant hidden value in the balance sheet of the banks if they succeed in managing the NPLs in a certain way. There are significant, in our case, we do have significant provision coverage in terms of the NPLs. As I said, we are restructuring massively with very high cure rates. We are well capitalized. We have significant liquidity. We mostly do business in Cyprus with locals, but due to our dominant position in the Cyprus economy, we do feel that we are a natural partner, business partner, for somebody who's looking to invest in Cyprus in terms of financing, in terms of knowledge.
The way we operate now is totally different than the way we were operating before. The regulatory environment has improved a lot. A lot of regulations have been issued from the central bank in terms of the banking sector, but also the legal framework as well has been enhanced. So banks, they operate now in a different way. There is a whole transformation in the way we do business. The banks, they increase their capital, having stronger capital bases in order to be able to support the future expansion. We are a member of the France Bank Group, which mainly operates in Middle East. So through that, we try and promote Cyprus through our network as an international business center. Because yes, Cyprus has the foundations, it has the infrastructure, it has the quality of professional services to establish itself as a strong international business center. And in my opinion, this is a way forward. This is something that we need to work very hard on it. We need to make sure that we are professional at the level of the service we are offering and excel in whatever we do. Cyprus has the unique advantage of its strategic position. You can do from Cyprus business with Middle East, Western Europe, Eastern Europe. So we are a gateway for doing this international business. But in order to attract the business, yes, you need the investors, the people that are going to come and set up their own business in Cyprus, to have confidence, to believe in Cyprus. But confidence is something to make them make the first move. It is important, though, to be able to provide quality of service and live up to their expectations and be able to compete with the other jurisdictions. As USB Bank, we can offer, first of all, the network that we have. So for the funds, if they come to Cyprus, we can help them to have access to the Middle East, this is the area that it is our advantage, to the long-established relationships that the group has, the private banking, the wealth management that we can offer. So this is a very important service that may be difficult, especially for a European fund or an American fund, to have access to the Middle East through a well-established professional organization, which is the France Bank Group that we are a member of.
We will manage to exploit this potential because Cyprus can definitely be useful and developed as a regional hub for the provision of services in the area. And we see that in combination with the interest we see from companies that they want to come to Cyprus and base their operation here for the hydrocarbons industry, which basically expands in the whole of the southeast Mediterranean area. So we see a lot of companies that they want to come and be based in Cyprus and offer their services in the whole area. So we believe that Cyprus can definitely prove to be a very important logistics hub for the region. Regarding the transport sector, we see a lot of potential for development in our ports, but also in terms of aviation as well. And of course, aviation in Cyprus is also connected with tourism because people in a country, they use aviation for three reasons. It's tourism, especially if you're a tourist country, business, and the needs for the local community. Actually working on making things simpler so that FDI is more, the process is more simplified. Now, why would Cyprus be an attractive country for somebody to invest? I would say that we see a lot of opportunities in areas like tourism, shipping and infrastructure as well. As I said at the beginning, we have a very strategic geographic location. We do believe that even though we're a small country, we have infrastructure that can be used for the provision of services in the whole of the area. And then, of course, Cyprus can definitely benefit from what is happening around us, because Cyprus is the most stable country in the region. So we see a lot of potential for companies relocating to Cyprus, having their head offices here, using our infrastructure for providing services, using our infrastructure for having their head offices, regional head offices. So we see a lot of opportunities there.
It has been, the geographical position has always been more of a curse than a blessing. We're trying to make it, of course, a blessing. And it is, we would like to see ourselves as a hub for many companies that would like to be in Cyprus and have their activities in the Middle East or in Europe. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, could have been born any place on earth. Mm-hmm. Yet she decided to be born in Cyprus. And there must be a reason. So we want Cyprus to be in people's hearts as an investment opportunity, as a cultural place, as an archaeological place, as a business venue, because we're talking about business right now. All these things are fine. I mean, we have wonderful weather. I spoke about our biggest treasure, which are the people. So we want the business to come, because there is a lot of business to be made and there is a lot of money to be made. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. So Cyprus in your heart, beating in different sectors, energy sectors, tourism, industry. These are the things that we would like to showcase.